As the sun rose promisingly over the Kingdom of Kerry, the serene lakes and majestic mountains provided a spectacular setting for the Rentokil initial Killarney Historic Rally.
This weekend marks the 20th anniversary of the Killarney Historic Rally. Conceived in 1996 by Maurice Nagle, it is the only event of its kind in Ireland, catering solely to historic and modified cars.
Essentially two rallies in one, the event sees some of the best cars and crews in both the historic and modified categories tackle some of the most iconic stages in Irish rallying.
The rally attracts competitors from right here in Ireland and from overseas, and down through the years, some of the biggest names in rallying have taken part, making it a popular event not just for competitors, but for spectators as well.
Some of the entrants to this year's event included such high-profile drivers as Ryan Barrett, Melvin Evans and rally legends Jimmy McRae in the historic section, with Rob Duggan, Desi Keenan and Phil Collins turning out in the modified field.
The stages take part around the picturesque town of Killarney, including the famous Malls Gap, known for its challenging and demanding road layout. And with perfect weather conditions like this, it's set to be a cracking event.
A counting round of the 2017 Clonakilty Black Pudding Irish Tarmac Historic Rally Championship. The rally also hosts the final rounds of both the plasticbags.ie Southern 4 Historic Championship and the West Wales Rally Spares HRCR Stage Masters Challenge. So competition will be intense across the 6 challenging day stages and 1 daunting night stage. As the season ender on the rallying calendar, and coinciding as it does with the build-up to Christmas, there's always a special atmosphere at the Killarney Historic Rally. And the ceremonial start in the heart of Killarney town was a festival of fun and light as the cars paraded over the start ramp. The goodwill and cheer was in stark contrast to last year's cancelled event, where Storm Desmond proved a party pooper as roads flooded and trees were felled during some extreme weather conditions. Thankfully, the weather played ball this year, and crews awoke in the dark early morning to slightly overcast but relatively mild and dry conditions.
You are the first man out the gap this morning. Are you feeling nervous or are you excited?
Well, no nerves now, to be quite honest. My first time up the gap, you know, so we'll give it a try, but I think these other men behind me have probably more experience in the gap than I have, but we'll give it a go. But I'm not looking for anything too sharp on the gap, but if I get through it, the race starts in stage 2 for me.
Melvin, great to see you back here in Killarney. How are you feeling today?
Feeling a bit, I don't know, a little bit nervous this morning, but that's probably good, you know. It's good competition here, good rally. And obviously last year nobody went very fast, so, you know, with the rain, so hopefully everybody will have a good and successful rally today.
Jimmy, it's absolutely fantastic to have you back here in Killarney. You're an institution in the sport. How does it feel to be back?
It's great. It's always great to come back to Killarney. Great to come back to Ireland, but it's great to come down here to Killarney. Lots and lots of fond memories of this place when the Circuit of Ireland used to come round here. And we did the Sunday run up Malls Gap and round the stages we're doing. So, no, it's great stuff.
So, as top seed Ryan Barrett leads a field of over 40 historic cars away from rally headquarters at the Gleneagle Hotel, ahead of a further 90 modified machines, let's take a look at what's in store for the cruise. The rally kicks off with the iconic Malls Gap stage, followed by service back at the Gleneagle in Killarney. A loop of 3 stages, Coolick, Annablaha and Gortnagarn then follows before running Coolick and Annablaha once more. The final test is Gortnagarn in the dark. Down at the start of stage 1, Oma's Ryan Barrett was ready to make his Malls Gap debut, with Paul McCann navigating in the Ford Escort Mark II. With roads almost like a racetrack in places, it's all about the lines on the famous old stage. And Ryan found picking the best one tricky at times. He navigated Malls Gap itself well enough and finished the stage holding 4th overall. No stranger to Killarney, Welshman Melvin Evans was the best over Malls Gap. The former British Historic Rally Champion and Irish National Rally Champion had current National Two-Wheel Drive Navigating Champion Sean Haid calling the notes, and the pair led by just 1.2 seconds after the opener. Owen Murphy has contested the RAC Championship in the UK for the past couple of years, driving the X-Works Talbot Sunbeam. But the Killarney Historic Rally was the first time he competed on home soil in the former Russell Brooks car. Despite developing a bad misfire early on, he and navigator Anthony Nestor were 2nd overall.
Flat 6 left, don't cut. 150. Turn square left. Don't cut at the gap. 40. Left over crest. Into 1 left push. Don't cut. 80. Flat 5 right over crest.
Stanley Orr and Guy Weaver were 13 seconds further back in 3rd and in the running for the HRCR Stage Masters Challenge. But on the road section back to Killarney, an oil pump problem in the Escort Mark I brought a disappointing end to their title bid.
Stanley, a bit of an unfortunate start to your rally. How do you feel?
Well, disappointed obviously. We had a good run on the first stage. We're 3rd overall after the first stage, and on the road section back here, thought it was an ignition problem, but it turns out it's an oil pump problem, so we're finished, that's us.
County Down crew Andy Johnston and Jim McSherry were 5th quickest through Malls Gap in the X-Works Vauxhall Chevette. 6 seconds adrift in 6th were Englishmen Sean Rayner and Declan Deere, who led the HRCR Stage Masters Challenge in their Escort. Sponsor of the Stage Masters Challenge, Gareth Lloyd, returned to Killarney holding 7th place after stage 1, with David Byrne calling the notes in the West Wales Rally Spurs Mark II. Not only were Rentokil initial title sponsors of the event, the company were also backing a number of high-profile cars. And Jimmy McRae's Vauxhall Forenza was possibly the most eagerly awaited. The 5-time British Rally Champion and 2-time Irish Champion had Pauline Gullick navigating, and the pair were 8th fastest over Malls Gap. And on the mixed crew was the father-daughter pairing of Pat and Tara Looney, who were 9th overall and clearly enjoying their local stages.
You know, it's so great to see ladies taking part in the sport. How do you think that we can encourage more of a female presence, a bit of girl power?
I don't know really, maybe if they just sat in and gave it a go. I think a lot of people think it's quite scary, but it's actually not. You don't see too much anyway when you're reading the notes, trust me, you don't see much of the road, it's all paperwork. We're good at the old paperwork.
In fairness, we are. And like, what possessed you to get into it?
Well, I couldn't help it really. My father's rallying all his life, so it was inevitable, I suppose, that I'd have to sit in.
Cork crew Noel Hurley and Johnny O'Shea rounded out the top 10 historics in their Saab 99. Back at the bottom of stage 1, the modified crews were preparing to tackle Malls Gap, headed by newly crowned British Junior Rally Champion Rob Duggan.
Are you feeling really confident today, considering you're after winning a championship there?
Yeah, look, we're confident enough, but then again, this is the first time I've been in a Mark II with this much power. Rear-wheel drive, totally different to what we're used to, but no, looking forward to having some fun.
There's going to be a savage race today. There could be 8 different fellas that could win this rally, so it's going to be flat out from the word go.
So Daisy, you won the historic rally 10 years ago. What are the chances of that happening again today?
Oh, I don't know now. There's a lot of younger faces here now, well able to go hard. So no, I'm just glad to get down here after it's 10 years since we've done this historics one again. I'm just glad to get down here and get at it, and at least it's not wet.
Not used to more power than a 1.6 litre engine, the 2.4 litre engine of the Rentokil initial Mark II was proving a handful for the local driver Duggan. He had a few scary slides across the opener.
That's 2 left plus, into 2 right plus, carry, and 5 left, and left 4 right, keep right for 100, turn 2 left at the gap, whoa, 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 60 to crest.
He and fellow Kerryman Ger Conway showed their adaptability, however, and opened up a 3-second lead in the modified section.
Right over crest, party.
It was a disappointing start for Gary Kiernan and Ryan Moore. The Cavan Donegal pairing picked up a puncture early on stage 1 and lost almost 4 minutes changing the wheel. Jack Newman, who hails from County Meath, but who's a member of the Killarney and District Motor Club, showed good pace here in 2014, and after stage 1 was just 3.4 seconds adrift of modified leader Rob Duggan.
3, 2, 1, go.
Previous winner of the modified rally, Welshman Phil Collins, was a further 8 seconds adrift in third, with Belfast's Stephen McCauley calling the notes in the Millington-powered Mark II.
120, cut left 1 over crest, 180, go out for long left 2 very late, into cut flat right, 170, long left 1, into care, extra long right 2 very late, into cut long left 4, opens, stay out for long left 4.
A novice on the Killarney stages, Kilkenny's Enda O'Brien was doing well to hold fourth in the modified section with navigator John Butler. 10 years ago, Desi Keenan secured his 3rd modified win in a row at the Killarney Historic Rally, but the Monaghan driver knew he'd be up against it this year and held 5th after stage 1. Just over half a second behind in 6th was the Toyota Corolla of the Donegal Cavan pairing Kevin Eves and James Fulton. Armagh's Damien Toner held 7th with Denver Rafferty calling the notes in the 2.5 litre Escort. Home from Poland to compete on his local stages, Aidan Buckley was 4 seconds back in 8th in his 2 litre machine. Holding 9th in his 1600cc version was local man Dennis Hickey with Sean Nolan on the notes. Vincent O'Shea and Brian Hickey were just 3.5 seconds adrift in 10th place. Having won the 1600cc class ahead of current class leader Dennis Hickey at the last Killarney Historic Stages Rally, 2016 Rally of the Lakes winner Donna Kelly was second best so far today in his Escort Mark I.
Donna, great to see you back in Killarney.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Bit of a difference from earlier in the year in the WRC, but Killarney's special for us, irrespective of the car type, so it's great being here.
Melvin, you must have been on the strong stuff this morning because you're leading, narrowly, but you are leading.
Yeah, there's not a lot in it, to be honest. We had a couple of slides early on in that stage, which I think the tyres were probably too hard on the back. So we're debating, shall we go softer on it? It's hard to know, but I'm enjoying it. It's great fun.
Tis the first time we've had it over in Ireland, so it is great to drive it in my local stages.
And how did you find it through Malls Gap then?
Very good. We set a good time up there now. We were second fastest. We had a small few issues. We lost a bit of time, but we'll chase them down now in the evening.
An iconic car on iconic stages, and although only performing sweeper duties at this year's event, Wesley Patterson was certainly rolling back the years for many spectators as he drove the Opel Manta around the classic Killarney stages.
It's been used mainly in the UK. It's been stored now for about 13 years. We only have it the last probably 18 months and we've spent a lot of time rebuilding it, but it's definitely an iconic car for Irish Rally. Bertie and Austin using them, and Andrew Nesbitt over the years. There's been a lot of really quick men that sort of served their time in them motors and stuff, so a lot of people very interested in it.
So, with the daunting Malls Gap stage completed, it's Melvin Evans who holds a narrow lead over Owen Murphy in the historic rally, while Rob Duggan leads the modified section from Jack Newman.
The Rentokil Initial Killarney Historic Rally is proving to be as popular as ever, with an impressive array of high-quality cars being seen here today. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up after the break.
Welcome back to County Kerry for part 2 of the Rentokil Initial Killarney Historic Rally. Having completed the opening test over Malls Gap, next up for the cruise was a loop of 3 stages. Coolick, which includes a fan-friendly zone through Kilcommon Village, and a Blaha, which traverses the more open country lanes north of Killarney, and Gortnagarn, a more tight and twisty technical affair. Ryan Barrett said his rally would begin in earnest on stage 2, and he wasn't kidding. The Oman native set 3 fastest times in a row to move into the overall lead despite some early intercom trouble with navigator Paul McCann.
150. Can you hear me? Yeah. 1 left, 2 plus on crest. Can hardly hear you. You okay? 1 left, 2 plus on crest. 150 down. Bumps into 2 right, 2 plus. Into narrow, 3 left, plus up. 200 up. Sure, narrow, 5 left, tightens late. Stay out. Just watch the rocks inside this one. I can hardly hear you again. You okay? 80, yes. Crest middle, bump okay, 200.
The loop didn't go to plan for erstwhile leader Melvin Evans. The Welshman spun on stage 2 and clipped the rear left of his escort on stage 3 and finished the loop in 2nd overall. With the misfire worsening in his Talbot Sunbeam Lotus, Owen Murphy couldn't believe he was holding 3rd place as he felt he was crawling round the stages in the John Leahy-owned car.
Middle of a blind flat crest long, 150. Past the wall and middle of a crest into bad mud. And 100 downhill, slippy 5 right, don't cut. 80. Big comeback, stop. 4 right into sudden 1 left.
There was a problem for Gareth Lloyd also. The Welshman was up to 4th place but had a cracked brake disc in his escort, and thanks to a very sporting gesture from overall leader Ryan Barrett, he was able to borrow a replacement.
Are you having problems here?
Yeah, we have a couple of issues there. We've a rear brake disc has cracked and the crack is running, so we just changed it as a precaution. So don't want to lose the brakes. So Ryan Barrett just gave us a disc because we don't have a disc with us. So
oh wow,
it's very sportsmanship of him. It's brilliant.
Sean Rayner was really enjoying his first spin in Killarney and held 5th overall. With rival Stanley Orr's retirement, Englishman Rayner would secure the inaugural West Wales Rally Spares HRCR Staged Masters Challenge.
Sean, first time in Killarney, what do you think of the stages so far?
Absolutely awesome. Malls Gap just lived up to all the expectations, super world class, but then the rest of the stages have just been fantastic as well. Most importantly, we're winning the Stage Masters Championship, and if we can keep going, we're going to win the championship for 2016, so more than happy.
Andy Johnson slipped behind Rayner into 6th place, but the deficit was a mere 1 second after stage 4. Jimmy McRae also lost a place on the loop, but the Scotsman was happy to be still in the running in his Vauxhall Firenze. Proof of his status as a rally legend was clear to see with the crowds that gathered around his service tent back in Killarney.
Jimmy, confident so far?
Yeah, very good. Now we had a good run through these stages. Maybe a wee bit careful in places, but we're still here. That's the main thing, and we've got the 3 of them to do again. So we'll see how that goes.
Pat and Tara Looney were up to 8th overall and were the leading local crew in the historic rally.
Perfect 100, one left, tightens into lane 4 left and turn square right. Tightens. Yep, turn square right.
Caught napping on Mall's Gap, Duncan Williams put in a determined effort on the 3-stage loop to climb to 9th overall with navigator Jonathan Carroll. Also breaking into the top 10 were more UK visitors, Alan Watkins and Keaton Williams. Having won their class in the Clonakilty Black Pudding Historic Championship, David and Nina Goose left the family farm in England behind for some crack in Killarney. And Lucia spoke with the father-daughter crew before the rally got underway.
We won the historic D5 class this year, our first year in Ireland, not with Nina, with another co-driver, but this is Nina's Christmas treat.
Oh my goodness, you picked the Historics in Killarney as your Christmas treat. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I think so.
And is this your first rally?
I've been in the forest before, but this is my first tarmac rally, so.
Well, you're so welcome. We're really looking forward to seeing how you guys do.
Thank you.
So Ryan, you have a 4.5 second lead at the moment. How were you able to do that?
Just pushed on nice and neat and hard and fast. Everything worked well for us. Paul's fantastic on the notes there, and Kiara's working pristine. The boys doing a good job, and I seem to be working all right myself. So keep it going. But still, there's another 3 hard stages to go, and Melvin's not far away. He's only 4.5 seconds, but all to go for.
Melvin, you're only trailing by a few seconds. What happened out there?
Oh, you know, it wasn't the cleanest of runs for us. I did a couple of mistakes, really. You know, a couple of half spins, and we clipped the back end, bounced off the hedge, and knocked the confidence a little bit. Even though we stride, there's like mud on the top, and it's like slime. And that's where I went off. You know, it wasn't like big speed, but we were just up on the bank and nearly flipped round the other side.
Wow.
So that's I thought I needed to back off a little bit, you know, and we still want to finish.
In the modified rally, Rob Duggan and Ger Conway continued to lead in the Rentokil Initial Mark II. The local crew were by no means running away with it though, as Jack Newman and Andrew Brown were hot on their heels. The margin just 6.7 seconds after 4 stages. It was an excellent loop for Damien Toner as the Armagh driver climbed from 7th to 3rd despite clipping a rock on stage 4. Slipping to 4th place, just 2 seconds off Toner, was previous winner Phil Collins.
Phil, a regular here in Killarney, what has you coming back year after year?
Well, I guess the stages, the welcome, the people, the event, the competition, all of it contributes to that argument. I've been coming here since 1980. Mall's Gap is unrecognisable now to what it was then. It's still a fantastic stage, but actually for different reasons. More like a racetrack, the second half of it now. But fabulous event, fabulous people.
Another previous winner here, Desi Keenan, was down to 7th place, but still giving it his usual gusto, much to the delight of navigator James McCarville.
120 and 4 right under the arch into a square right, don't cut it, and turn open hairpin left. Open hairpin left. 120, slow and hairpin left here, and tight hairpin right, 300 through the finish.
Local crew, Aidan Buckley and Alan O'Doherty, had been up to 5th place before eventually crashing out on the Coolick stage. Kevin O'Donoghue and Dermot Lynch had been knocking on the door of the top 10 in the modified in their 3-litre BMW M3, but mechanical trouble eventually forced their retirement from their home stages. They'd been a joy to watch until then.
And 2 right plus over big crest, and 2 right plus 120. To square right, repeat square right 40. To narrow square left 40, and crest and Oki out of it, 80.
After a disappointing run over Mall's Gap, father and son crew Charlie and Johnny Hickey were back on the pace and up to 14th in the modified standings.
Charlie, being a local man, it must be a huge advantage coming on at these stages.
Yeah, we know the roads and stuff like that, but overall now it's a brilliant event. It's very well ran, possibly one of the best rallies you could go to. Rally the Lakes used to run always in December, going back with 30 years. Everyone knows the stages, everyone knows about the stages. It's a brilliant event.
Rob, you're still holding the lead. Are you experiencing any difficulties at the moment?
No, not really. Just less traction than we thought we'd have. I guess it's the power is just too big for us. Very hard to get it down the road. But yeah, we're tipping away through. We're just trying to keep our noses clean. Don't have any spins or anything in the lead by 6 to Jack. So hopefully we'll be able to hold it off for the next 3.
Jack, great battle between yourself and Rob.
Yeah, it's going well. There's 6 seconds between us now. Started the last stage there, the clutch cable broke, so we had to get pushed off the start line, lost a bit of time there, so we'll see what happens now.
And any plans on how to get those 6 seconds back?
We're going to put a match set of tyres on now and see how it goes, so see what happens.
Damien, are you happy with your 3rd overall?
Yeah, very happy, yeah. Going well. I clipped the rock on the last stage, lost a bit of time, but yeah, I'm going to put a bit of a push on for the last loop. Hopefully all goes well.
Stage 3 saw the juniors enter the fray, and leading the class after 2 stages was the Cork-Wexford pairing of Colin Roach and Ger Foley in the Toyota Starlet. Meath crew Michael Cahill and Brian Cassidy were just 1.4 seconds adrift in their Escort Mark II. A further 6 seconds behind in 3rd was the Toyota Corolla of local crew Rob Coonahan and Timmy Kelly. Naturally, there was a big turnout of Killarney and District Motor Club members for their home event. So let's take a look at some of those hometown heroes doing their stuff. Along with the locals, there's always a strong international presence at the Rentokil Initial Killarney Historic Rally. And it's a perfect example of a global company supporting a local event. Managing Director Michael O'Mahony is delighted to be once again associated with the rally.
Yeah, really delighted to be associated with it. I suppose it's our way of saying thank you to Kerry, thank you to Killarney, thank you to all our customers in the area for supporting us over the years. So yeah, we're thrilled to be associated with it. Yeah, I mean, out on the stage is fantastic. I was up in Mal's Gap this morning, rather chilly up there, but my God, it was worth every shiver to be there.
So, past the halfway point now, and it's Ryan Barrett who leads the historic rally from Melvin Evans and Owen Murphy, while Rob Duggan continues to lead the modified section ahead of Jack Newman and Damien Toner.
Here at the Glen Eagle, as the crews head out for another loop of stages, we're seeing some stand-up performances in both the modified and the historic categories. Stay tuned for more after the break.
And you're welcome back to County Kerry for the final part of the Rentokil Initial Killarney Historic Rally. As the evening drew nearer, the fans gathered as the crews prepared to tackle the last 2 daylight stages before the final nighttime test. Leading from the front were Ryan Barrett and Paul McCann. However, they were second quickest on the repeat run of the Coolick stage. Some early evening rain made conditions quite tricky for the second run through Annablaha, but the pair managed to set some fastest times despite some nervy yet amusing moments inside the car.
6 right out of it, 40, tight 6 left, 80, 80 up, square right, square right, minus at the gate, 40 cure, crest and turn very sudden hairpin left and it's narrow. Out this one. We're back in the sticks, lad. Yeah. 4 right, hit plus.
Melvin Evans closed to within 3 seconds of Barrett on stage 5, but his efforts to retake the overall lead were undone when his escort's throttle cable broke on stage 6, costing him over 20 seconds. Owen Murphy's misfiring Sunbeam sounded a little better on the repeat loop. He held on to 3rd overall and had only to contend with actual sunbeams from the lowering sun.
Flat 6 right, 450. Bumpy after the sign. So it's bumpy after the sign. And slowing over crest and bump and 5 left through the dip. Into 3 right, 150. Bumpy. 3 right here, 150 bumpy. Flat 6 right, continues for 100. 350 up the middle. Into bumpy.
With his faulty brake disc repaired, courtesy of rally leader Ryan Barrett, Gareth Loy continued to hold 4th place in his Escort RS 1800. Andy Johnston regained a place over stages 5 and 6 to hold 5th overall, going into the final night stage. Swapping places with Johnston's Chevette was the Escort of Sean Rayner, who was relishing his debut on the Killarney stages. 7-time Circuit of Ireland winner Jimmy McRae was still holding 7th overall in the beautifully sounding V8 Chevy engined Vauxhall Fiorenza. Pats and Tara Looney were on a fabulous pace to lead the local contingent in their fabulous Mark I Escort.
150, turn 5 right, don't cut. 170 up the middle over crest. 150 over small crest here. 1 right.
Duncan Williams and Jonathan Carroll maintained 8th place over the final 2 daylight stages. On only their 2nd visit to Ireland and first trip to Killarney, Barry Jones and Ian Griffiths endured a costly puncture on stage 1. But by stage 6 they had fought valiantly back to 10th overall in their Escort. It's prepared by Scott Williams Motorsport. Williams is Barry's brother-in-law, and the company is the Welsh international rugby player's new business venture. Donald O'Connor was enjoying his local stages with Galway's Laura Mulrooney navigating in the Escort Mark I.
4 left, square right. That's it. Hairpin left, hairpin left. Good man, 150. Then a turn 5 right.
We're enjoying it really, you know. So some of the stages there are quite slippy, but all in all, they're fantastic stages, and we're having great fun.
In the modified rally, Rob Duggan set another fastest time on stage 5 to increase his lead to 14 seconds.
100. Turn tight square left, bail out. 200. Turn 3 right plus. 400 to sign.
Jack Newman, though, wasn't giving up and fought back with the fastest time on stage 6 to leave the margin at 7 seconds going into the final test. And with that being run in the dark, who knows what could happen? Just a couple of seconds off Rob Duggan on stages 5 and 6, Damien Toner was looking to make 3rd place his own as he was coming under pressure from Phil Collins, who was just a handful of seconds further back at 4th. Closing in on Collins was the Toyota Corolla of Kevin Eves. The Donegal driver hadn't given up on a podium finish either.
5 left at the sign, 60, flat 6 right, 100 down. 5 right, 80, 5 left, 5 right, 100.
And O'Brien was improving stage by stage and was just 3 seconds off Eves in what was shaping up to be a dramatic conclusion to the rally. Desi Keenan was still thrilling the fans and on the ragged edge in his 2-litre Escort, but the Monaghan Ace couldn't improve on 7th place with just 1 stage to go. Donna Kelly gained a place on the penultimate stage to hold 8th and lead the 1600cc class once again from Dennis Hickey. After a slow start, Alistair Cochrane and Gary McElhenney crept up the leaderboard to hold 9th going into the final test. Holding 10th, local crew, Vincent O'Shea and Brian Hickey. The Waterford-Cork pairing, Simon Reid and Gavin Downey, had been knocking on the door of the top 10, but a persistent misfire in their escort saw them lose time and slip down the leaderboard.
100 on me, turn square right wall inside. Square right wall and bail inside. Then turn square left. Turn square left. And crest.
Associate sponsor Neil Phelan of Ace Signs Sign Makers likes to get his hands on with the rallies he supports, and he's enjoying the Killarney stages with Joe Hearns cutting the notes in the Mark II Escort. Before we head into the night stage, let's round up some of the class winners. And taking third in historic Class K was Corkman James Hall, who had local man Tony McCarthy cutting the notes in the Audi Coupe Quattro.
To a 6 right over crest bump past the trees, still a bit to go. 100. 100 down to a crest with only 60 down.
English crew Roger Moran and Ashley Trimble took second in class in their BMW M3. Northern Irish crew Keith McIver and David Burns took first in Class K and finished 11th overall in the Escort Mark II. Local crew Aidan Kennedy and Joe O'Leary were first in Class B2 in their Austin Mini Cooper. Clare crew Pat McDonough and Calvin Kirby took Class B3 honours in their Ford Cortina. Galwegians Pat and Peter Neville won Class B4 in their Volvo 142. Multiple British and Irish historic rally champion Desi Nutt won Class B5 and finished 15th overall, with Geraldine McBride navigating in the Porsche 911. Irla Carty and Joe White won Class C1 in their Morris Mini Cooper. UK visitors Harry Brown and Martin McGrath took the Class C2 win in their Hillman Avenger. Fellow UK crew Duncan and Kate Book took first in Class C4 in their Porsche 3-litre RS. Kent's driver Chris Brown won Class C5 with wife Ali navigating in their immaculate Mark I Escort. John Newman, father of modified contender Jack, won Class D1 with Dave Woodcock navigating the Fiat 128. In the modified section, Cork's John and Kate O'Donovan took the Class 1 honours in their Austin Mini. Class 2 went to fellow Cork crew Michael Kelleher and Irla McCarthy in the Escort. In the competitive Class 3 battle, Meath's James Cassidy and Declan Smith finished third in their Gordon Automotive Mark II. There would be no revenge for local man Dennis Hickey over Donna Kelly for his Class 3 win in 2014, as he had to settle for the runners-up spot once again behind Donegal man Kelly, who finished 8th overall in the modified rally. In Class 4, James Bradley and Maria Keogh took third place in their Escort. John Mulholland and Ian Regan took second in another Mark II. Putting local knowledge to good use to take the Class 4 win were Paddy O'Callaghan and Danny Murphy in the Starlet. Donegal crew Dermot McCrory and Colin Arnold took their Talbot Sunbeam to third in Class 5. Meath crew Pa Bellew and Martin Byrne finished second in class in their Mark II. Taking the Class 5 win in their Escort was the Cork Louth pairing of Paul Fitzgerald and Pierce Doheny.
Down to 1 right over crest bump past the trees, 100. 100 crest bump past the trees, 100. Then crest, only 60 down, caution slow crest and tight 3 right. So crest there, only 60 down, caution slow crest and tight 3 right.
So, as the last light left the sky, it was time for regroup at the Rathmore GA Club before tackling the final test. Gort again in the dark.
Well, after 6 thrilling stages today, we're facing into the night stages, and with this downpour of rain, conditions are bound to change and possibly the leaderboard.
As the lamp pods were checked, there was time for some light refreshments before the final push, and nerves didn't seem to be an issue for our rally leaders.
You took the lead after the second stage, but obviously conditions have changed drastically and you're heading into the night stages. How do you feel about that?
No, I feel pretty confident, quite honest. I have good experience in the dark and wet conditions, so just 22-second lead, but Melvin will be not really pushing hard, but I just need to keep a steady rhythm and fingers crossed get to the end, so that's the plan.
Rob, you're looking very relaxed there considering you're heading into the night stages. Do you like the night stages?
Yeah, I have no problem with him. We've done a couple of them over the last year, so looking forward to getting into it now. Jack will be pushing hard. There's a couple of lads that are just behind him. A spin could finish the whole rally, so we'll just try and get through this one now and make sure that we do nothing stupid.
Before we wrap up the overall historic and modified rallies, we round up the junior rally now, and finishing third in the Toyota Corolla was local crew Rob Coonahan and Timmy Kelly.
Long one right, flat 3 left 200. Flat 3 left after this opens 300, 200, what, that's the steering boy. Very long 2 left and crest 130. Chicane right in 3 bails.
Colin Roach held a 7-second lead going into the night stage, but when the LED lamps on his Toyota Starlet wouldn't work, he floundered in the dark and lost the class lead to winners Michael Cahill and Brian Cassidy in the Mark II Escort.
2 left in, only 100 slippy to a 5 left and 6 right under the bridge. Watch it, going to be slippy. 6 right now. Go on, 350. That's the buy. Well done, lad. Well done, lad. Fair play to you.
To the overall historics now, and finishing in 10th place was the English-Irish pairing of Duncan Williams and Jonathan Carroll. Having dropped to 39th overall after their stage 1 puncture, Barry Jones and Ian Griffiths made a sensational comeback to finish 9th overall on their first trip to Killarney. 8th overall was father and daughter crew Pat and Tara Looney, who had a great drive in their Mark I Escort to finish as top locals in the historic rally. Jimmy McRae and Pauline Gullick finished 7th overall and won Class C4 in the Vauxhall Fiorenza.
Jimmy, you must be absolutely delighted with your result today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to win the class and to come here, it's fantastic, really. It's been a great event. It's been well organised. It was a pity last year, the problems they had, but they made up for it this year.
And Pauline, as his navigator, you must be delighted with the result as well.
Yes, we've had a great day. It started well at Moles Gap. The conditions were perfect and it was a fantastic stage. And I think we both wanted to do well and we just went for it.
Sean Rayner and Declan Deere were thrilled to finish 6th overall and secure the overall title in the inaugural West Wales Rally Spares HRCR Stage Masters Challenge.
It's just been great fun, the whole thing really. The whole rally is fantastic experience, and to come home and win the championship, it gets no better, yeah.
And Declan, as his navigator, you had a huge part to play in this. How are you feeling?
Yeah, ecstatic. It's been a great weekend, great year, all out. It's been good.
Andy Johnston and Jim McSherry had a fine drive in the Vauxhall Chevette to win Class K overall and finish 5th in the historic rally. Welshman Gareth Lloyd took 4th in the historics, with Wexford's David Byrne calling the notes in the Escort RS 1800. Owen Murphy and Anthony Nestor showed great pace and resilience despite a persistent misfire in their Talbot Sunbeam to finish 3rd on the historic podium, and will be ones to watch for the rest of the Clonakilty Black Pudding Tarmac Championship.
Yeah, we had a real trying day. We had a problem from the end of stage 1 all the way through, and we just struggled away to get to the end, and we finished 3rd overall in the rally and first on the Clonakilty points, so it is great.
Having suffered a broken throttle cable on the penultimate stage, Welshman Melvin Evans nursed his Escort home to 2nd overall, with Cork's Sean Haid navigating. But a superb performance on their Killarney debut netted the overall historic rally win for Ryan Barrett and Paul McCann, who arrived back to rally headquarters at the Gleneagle Hotel in Killarney to a hero's welcome, with over 40 seconds to spare in the end.
Ryan, you must be absolutely delighted. How did you find the night stages?
Oh, the night stages, a bit daunting, but Actually, we thought we wouldn't have much grip, but the grip out there was absolutely unreal. I couldn't believe it, you know. We just got our heads down. You after the first 2-3 corners, we were getting grip, and we just kept it lifting. It worked well for us, and we're here now.
Without your guidance, he wouldn't have made it here. You must be ecstatic as well.
Well, I've always said I've been around this game a long time, and it's one thing knowing how it should be done, but this man can do it, and it was absolutely superb. Total commitment. I've never seen anything like it, and, you know, in my career, like, and it was just a joy to sit there and know that someone like Ryan can just total commitment, class.
So back in Killarney next year, then, lads.
Definitely, without a doubt. Definitely.
To the modified rally now, and having dropped to 72nd overall after the first stage puncture, Gary Kiernan and Ryan Moore made an astonishing recovery to climb back to finish 10th overall, a case of what might have been for the pair. The Donegal-Antrim combination of Alistair Cochrane and Gary McElhenney managed to finish 9th in the modified standings. Donna Kelly and Conor Foley followed up their win at the Killarney Rally of the Lakes earlier this year with 8th in the modified section of the Killarney Historic Rally. Modified winner from 10 years ago, Desi Keenan had to settle for 7th place this time around, with fellow Monaghan man James McCarville on the notes. Another former winner here, Phil Collins, had been pushing for a podium finish going into the last stage, but the Welsh driver had to settle for 6th in the end, with navigator Stephen McCauley. Overtaking Collins on the final test was the Kilkenny crew, Enda O'Brien and John Butler, who finished 5th. Damien Toner and Denver Rafferty had been 3rd going into the last stage, but they seemed to lose their way in the dark and slipped to 4th place, just 2 seconds behind Kevin Eves and James Fulton, who turned around a 19-second deficit on the final stage to take 3rd place in the Toyota Corolla.
45 right over crest, 100, 2, 3 left, here's a 3 left, crest, only 20 down, 2, 5 right, tightens to a 3 right, 40.
Jack Newman and Andrew Brown set another fastest time on the last stage, but it wasn't enough as they had to settle for the runners-up spot, just 5.6 seconds behind the winners, Rob Duggan and Ger Conway, with a bit of a scare in the darkness on the final test.
6 right and stay right for 5 left around the bales, 40, 5 left plus, and the fast 4 right plus continues for 100, and 4 left minus into Sutton, 1 right down, and 5 left minus, break. Go on, 5 left minus 100.
Getting away with just a damaged wheel rim, the local crew kept their composure to return to Killarney to take the modified victory in their Rentokil Initial Mark II Escort.
So Rob, you led from start to finish. You must be delighted now.
Yeah, definitely. It was a long, tough day getting used to the car and the tricky conditions, but thankfully George kept me on the right side of the road and get to the finish. Small mark on the car, but we get over that.
So there's confirmation of the results of the Rentokil Initial Killarney Historic Rally, with Ryan Barrett and Paul McCann securing the win, while Rob Duggan and Ger Conway take the modified honours on their home rally. I'm John Kenny. Hope you enjoyed the programme. Till the next time, bye for now.
Well, this year's Killarney Historic Rally certainly has not disappointed in any way. In stark contrast to last year, the weather pretty much held up. We saw some outstanding performances from the drivers throughout all the stages, and of course, adding to the atmosphere were the fans and the beautiful surroundings of Killarney. From all of us here at the Glen Eagle and on The Limit Sports, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.